Welcome to Brett and Eric Discuss.
In this video, we'll talk about what is really still made in America. For example, Brett, where are the best cars made?
I don't know, Eric. Probably Europe. Germany has Mercedes, Audi, BMW, but in Italy has Ferrari and Lamborghini. It'd be nice to have one of those.
Yeah,
But then
that's for
again,
sure.
but then again, Japan has Lexus, Toyota, and Honda, which are great cars. You know.
Yeah. Yeah, actually, I drive a Genesis, so I'm a fan of Korea. But I have to agree. I used to drive American cars. I'm not sure that they're the best cars anymore.
But overall, North America has lost that number one position.
Yeah, I agree totally.
As it is, we only have
Yep.
two major manufacturers here in the U.S. because Chrysler is owned by Fiat, an Italian company, and I forgot to mention them.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, I mean, if you think about it, like the big three is really not the big three anymore, right?
Yeah, maybe 2.5 or just two.
Yeah, I mean, they still have a manufacturing footprint here, but one of the things that I find interesting about cars is that there are American brands and there are Asian brands and German brands and Italians and things like that. But if you look at the content of a car, some domestic manufacturers actually make less of their car in the United States than some of the foreign brands. So even if you think about cars and you say, I'm going to support a domestic brand, you have to dig a little deeper to see what is really still made in America,
That's a great point. I remember up here in Ohio, they were talking about the Chevy plant having to wait on parts from China.
Yeah, and if you go to Marysville, Ohio, they are a Honda town, and that entire town just runs around Honda, pun intended. But, they're a huge, huge job provider for a lot of American citizens. And you go to Kentucky, it's the same way with Toyota. So it's interesting because people have these ideas about what brand is American and what really means American. Is it one that supports American supporters or one that supports American stockholders? So other things like, where are the best computers? Where are those made?
Well, I just bought an HP, all-in-one computer. Good Californian company, right? Surfboards, all that good stuff, sand, beach.
Did you look at the box when you opened it up?
Made in China.
That's right. So,
and no surfboard.
No surfboard. No, I've got an Apple in front of me, but I've got a Dell upstairs. Same thing. Almost all exclusively made in China. A lot of the subcomponents are made in other parts of Asia, Vietnam, Cambodia, Malaysia, Taiwan, Thailand. But, they're American brands. So if you're a consumer and you're looking for a TV, you're looking for a computer, you're looking for a vacuum cleaner, I'm a huge Dyson fan. Even though they're very expensive, they're great machines. It's tough, right? Like, it's really hard to say, I want to buy American. Okay, so what does that mean?
Yeah.
What about homes? You can still buy your home. It's made in America, isn't it?
Well, I think the stick frame homes that are made on site in
I
the
was setting you
subdivision, those homes obviously are made here.
Right.
But modular homes are becoming more popular. And I know there's companies in Canada, in Quebec, that make modular homes. And I bet you're going to tell me that it's more than just, and those homes aren't made in America, but they're made in North America.
Right.
But now you're probably going to tell me some of those modular homes are now made off the continent outside of North America.
That is true. You can actually buy a home on Amazon now. And not only do you buy a home on Amazon, but there are other homes that are literally manufactured in a factory in China and then shipped to America on a boat, and you can bring that modular home out to your plot, and bam, you've got a home made in China. Now, I have no idea if it's a good home, if it's a bad home, if it's architecturally appealing, if it meets code or anything like that. And that's an important thing, meeting building code. But yeah, literally, you can get a Chinese-made home now.
Well, I think one of the problems, offshoring on the surface seems like a wonderful thing. It cuts the costs. In the short term, it brings the cost of the product
Which
down,
helps the consumer, right?
Which does help the consumer up front.
Right.
But in the long term, those consumers need jobs, and they need good paying jobs, just not service sector jobs. And we are a consumption economy where
That's
the
for sure.
consumer is doing all the buying, and they're driving and fueling this. And if they lose decent paying jobs, they won't be able to make it. There's not enough rich people buying fancy products to drive everything. So in the short term, cutting costs is great, but in the long term, what you're doing is you're cutting and or gutting the middle class, and that has been the driver of our economy for a while.
So it's actually bad for the economy in some respects if we take those good paying jobs and we make the middle class poor.
Yeah. And that's the problem long term. Like if you look at America, you talk about the Rust Belt. At one time, that was one of the greatest places to live for the middle class.
Right.
And it was the engine of America.
But what about the lack of capacity to produce a product that the country might need in the state of a national emergency?
I think that's very important, and I think we're kind of seeing that in today's environment, that key products, essential products, key components for products that are made here, for medicines, the key elements and or key meds, if they're not made here and we have an emergency, how do we handle that? We don't have the capacity. It's great to use offshoring if you're going to make products for other countries that are in that region.
Right.
Then it makes sense because you're cutting down on your logistics costs. But to bring something here, if we can't get it, like what happens if you need heart medicine? What happens if you need cancer medicine? And we have a disagreement with a country. We're very vulnerable, and or an emergency. What happens if they...
I think even to that point, like if you move production overseas, anywhere, it doesn't matter. I'm not picking on China here. If you move it anywhere and don't keep some capacity at home, then you put yourself in that position, right? Because if you have some capacity, you at least have the knowledge, you have the workers, you have the equipment, you have the supply chain set up. Now, you can ramp up capacity a lot faster than you can build something from scratch. So if you were to move 80% of the production overseas and kept 20% here, one, it would help keep some of those jobs in America. It would keep some of that capacity in America, which could also be a matter of national security, right? It could help the country in a time of a national emergency, which we're seeing right now with COVID.
Agreed. And this really hits home because of what is happening right now. And it shows you that maybe for 15 or 20 years, it doesn't really matter where the stuff is made because you can move it around.
Right.
But once something happens, once you hit a pothole and things start unraveling, that's when you really realize the supply chain is weakened, and we have a serious problem. And we have a serious problem today. And it was good for the bottom line for decades.
Yeah.
But this is now showing us the true weakness.
That's right.
And with a global environment, I think more viruses and so forth and other world issues are going to become more frequent. And
Let me just pop in
strategy.
here and ask, if you guys have a comment or a question on this, please just comment down below on this topic. We'd love to hear your thoughts on it. I know there's a lot of opinions going around in the market and in the world right now, so please share a comment down below if you've got a thought on it. One other thing about the offshoring of so many products and how it affects consumers, not just people's jobs and national security, but I think this is relevant to everybody that's viewing. When you go to a store, do you feel like you have the number of choices that you would like to have with this current situation, the amount of products that have been offshored?
I think you have choice from the point of brand names, but I think you have fewer manufacturers and you have fewer countries making the products. And I think that is what we're seeing today.
For sure.
And that's where you don't really have the same maybe customer experience you had before, or the real selection that you think you have. If 6 pairs of running shoes, 6 different brand names are all made in the same city in the same factory, do you really have that choice?
Right.
We don't have it. I think we need to really, I don't want to say maybe demand the choice from our companies, our manufacturers, but at least we should be asking for it.
Right, agree.
Good point.
Yeah. So I have some good news I want to share with you here. According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, this number is from 2018, the manufacturing sector in the U.S. is growing. Now, I don't think it's growing this year with COVID, which is terrible, and I'm sorry. Our hearts go out to everybody out there that's affected by this, as I think we all are in some varying degrees. But yeah, it was growing, albeit slowly. But there are 15.5 million Americans in 2018 that were employed in the manufacturing sector. So the factory jobs aren't gone, right? There are still a lot of products being made in America. 15.5 million people work there.
But they're changing.
Yeah.
That's the difference, is a lot of industries we have lost. Those workers, aren't working, and they had great middle-class jobs.
Right.
And now what you're really saying is, hey, you have to reinvent yourself at 45 or 55, and you got to relocate, and you have to have your life turned upside down. That might be what's required, but at the same time,
right.
That's brutal if you are that person that has to go through that.
And it doesn't address the fact that it's impactful to the middle class, right? What used to be a $25 an hour job is now $14 an hour, and people are happy to have it. Well, that person's going to be struggling to get back to that middle class status that their life was at before.
If they stay in the same communities where those industries, those whole industries have left, they probably will never get back there. But then new products come up, new things come up, new technologies drive new products, and those jobs pay nice.
Yeah.
So that's where your statistic is. It's just that it's the balance has changed regionally.
Right, agreed. Yep, that's a very good point, Brett. So, bonus section for you here, folks. We're going to wrap this video up. All right, what do we do about it? We know a lot of jobs have moved offshore. We know a lot of products are made somewhere else. It's not always a bad thing, all right? It helps you with price at the store. It can globalize the businesses. You get new innovative ideas and designs from other parts of the world. But there are a lot of things that are impacted because of that. So, what do we do about it, Brett? What can we do as individuals to really change the landscape?
I think we need to reach out to our corporations and to the government and say we want essential products made here, or a certain percentage of them made here, because we're going
your lawmakers, right? Your congressperson, your senator, right?
Yeah, and the congressmen, senators, the government needs to really go to corporations and say, this is a requirement we need you to do now.
Yeah.
We need to have so much made here as an emergency. Let's face it, we all are told to have emergency funds in our local bank accounts.
Yeah, we're supposed to, right?
In case of unemployment and stuff like that. But why aren't corporations doing it? Why isn't the government doing it? These products, these ingredients, they need to be available to us so we can have what we need. Like if you have heart medicine or cancer medicine and you can't get your medicine, your outcome's not good.
Right.
But let's hear from people. People, what do you think? Is this something that we should be driving, or the government should be driving? Your congressmen, your senators, but the corporations need to understand what the people want.
Yeah.
So what do you want? What do the people want? Let us know.
And I think the other thing you can do is be a more informed consumer, right? Pay attention to what's going on in your marketplace. Don't look for the largest quantity of stuff. Look for the best quality thing that's going to last a while. And you'll find that the location of manufacturing is often different. They may not be in America still, because a lot of things just aren't available here. But look for it and be an informed consumer, and think twice about the impact that your purchase has on things other than just your current wallet. Save another week for that thing that isn't essential right way. So thanks for watching. We're going to bring more episodes out to you folks. If you like this, please just let us know with the comments and things like that. And we hope you enjoyed this episode or this video. What do we call these, Brett?
I think videos.
Videos. There we go. We hope
Whatever
you enjoyed this
anybody
video.
wants.
All right.
Thanks. Hey, thanks for watching Brett and Eric discuss. We hope you enjoyed the video. If so, give us the thumbs up.
If you have any comments, we'd love to hear from you. Please leave a comment down below.
Also, if you haven't already subscribed yet, please do so.
Next to that subscribe button is a notification bell. If you like these videos, ring that bell.